The way that we ended up with 4 dogs was because,
I guess he's gotta be here.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Adrianne.
And I'm Dion.
And if you're feeling my vibe, please subscribe. Today, we are talking about my wonderful, beautiful
husband.
One and only, the magnificent Canela.
Ta-da!
Yes! Hello everybody, my name's Canela. As is a little awkward. So, if you guys haven't seen my meet all 4 of my dogs video, I'll have it linked up here and also in the description box down below. It's also in my playlist, so go ahead and check that out. But today we are specifically focusing on Canela. Why? Because she is very special. I mean, all of our dogs are very special to us and near and dear to our hearts, but her story in particular is very, very special.
Yawn.
I don't know if you guys can tell, but she's very sweet. She may seem like she's very quiet, but she's not. I mean, she can be very quiet. Very docile, I guess you would call her. But she's also very loud. And I would attribute that to where she comes from. Stop being jealous. Oh my goodness. So, the way that we ended up with 4 dogs was because,
I guess he's gotta be here.
Alright, so how we ended up with 4 dogs is because Canela is our very last one, and we're picking up ears right now because he's crying, because he's jealous. We rescued her. Like, we didn't just go to a shelter and we're like, oh my goodness, we gotta take her home. No, we were on our honeymoon and we found a litter of puppies and their mom. And I was like, babe, we can't just leave them here. And he's like, we're on our honeymoon. What do you mean? We can't just leave them here. I'm like, we can't leave them here. And he's like, but we can't take them back to our Airbnb. And I'm like, I don't care. We gotta take them back. And so we started our own rescue mission. I posted on Facebook like, hey guys, we found this litter of puppies in Puerto Rico, in my grandparents' neighborhood to be exact. And we need to raise money to house them for now, get them leashes, collars, like the whole 9, and also to help us pay for their flight, their airfare, because it's not, I mean, I guess it's relatively cheap to fly them out, but
no, it's pretty expensive if you don't have the budget for it.
Right, but I mean, I guess the aspect, like if you look at the whole thing, it's not that expensive to fly out 4 puppies. But it wasn't in our budget. It definitely was not in our budget. We were there on our honeymoon. We just gotten married, and weddings are expensive, and honeymoons are also expensive too. I mean, they don't have to be, but we were there for what, 2 weeks? And this was the end of our 2 weeks, so our money was like down here. And yeah, so we reached out to our friends on Facebook, and we were so lucky and blessed to have raised like, what, $500 and something to rescue this litter of puppies and bring them back. So originally we were... Stop showing everybody your booty hole, my goodness. So originally there are 5 puppies in the litter in total and the mom. And we couldn't bring all 6 of them back just because we could only fit 2 puppies per carrier. So my grandmother has 2 of them right now, and we would 100% go back for them to rescue and then adopt them out. But there's a pandemic going on, and we also don't have the funds to do so. Brought back 4 puppies. We had Canela, of course, and she was named by my great aunt. We had Sol, we had
Luna,
and Shaggy.
Shaggy.
And then the mom, we named her Mama. So original. And the other puppy, her name is Mota, which is what my grandmother named her. I don't know why she named her Mota or what it means, but that is her name. Yes. And use my canini babies. So we brought back Shaggy, Luna, Sol, and Canela, and we were gonna adopt them out. So the first one to get adopted was Shaggy. He is now named Bori. He is in a wonderful, wonderful family. He's actually adopted, or he was actually adopted by our friends Adrianne and Arlene.
Before we even brought him back.
Yeah, before we even brought them back, they were like, we need to adopt him. Like, this is our dog. And that was their first dog ever. And they were like, how perfect that he is a rescue puppy. So we were set on that. We were like, wow, this is amazing. We can do this. We can get them adopted. But before we could, you know, get them to their home, we had to get their shots, bathe them, the whole thing, because, you know, they were dirty, they were stinky, they had never had their shots before. They were maybe like 3 months old when we found them, and the neighbors were taking care of them at the time, and they were just living out in the streets. It was very sad. The mom, you could tell, had you could tell that she had an owner beforehand, and that I'm pretty sure when they found out she was pregnant, they dumped her, and she ended up in that neighborhood, and she gave birth there. And the reason why we figured that she was previously owned was because when we put a collar and a leash on her, she didn't fidget or anything. She didn't try running away. She was actually very comfortable with it. And if you know satos in Puerto Rico, they don't want to get anywhere near humans. They don't want a leash or a collar or anything like that. Like, they are fine on their own. They are street dogs. And with this one, they came right up to us. It was pretty insane. And I had tried with the other satos, and they're like, nope, not interested. This is how she sleeps. So we brought the 4 back. Bori got adopted, or Shaggy got adopted, and they named him Bori. I guess for Boricua. I never asked them, but that's what I'm assuming. He's doing very well. He has a younger sister now. Her name is Wednesday. She's very cute. And then we had Luna, Sol, and Canela. Our friend Tang and Jane, they were interested in looking for another puppy for their dog to play with. And I'm like, oh my goodness, we rescued so many. Why don't you check out some of ours? And they're like, okay, sure. So we brought them Canela because we're like, okay, well, you know, Luna and Sol are they're spoken for. Somebody wants them. So we're like, okay, let's show them Canela. So we bring Canela, and she's like this big, and she's very shy and timid when she first meets somebody, but she doesn't bite or anything. She's very sweet.
She had patches too.
Yeah, she had some patches on her. I guess you would call it mange, but I don't think it was mange. But they all had...
In Tagalog, it's called galis. Galis.
Oh, well, in Spanish, I don't know what it's called. But in English, it's mange. And it's pretty much, I guess, a bacteria of the skin where, like, it just kind of eats away at the hair, and it leaves, like, scabs and stuff like that on their skin, and it's not very comfortable or appealing to the eye either. But Canela had that, they all had that, and when Tang and Jane met her, she still had her patches. I mean, the mange was gone, but the fur hadn't grown back in yet. And I don't think it's because they didn't think that she was super cute or anything. My mom said she's the ugly one in the family, but whatever, she ain't ugly to me. And they just didn't vibe with her, and I felt very sad that they didn't vibe with her, because I'm like, wow, nobody wants this puppy. Like, what are we gonna do? And so we just, you know, we had the other 2 at the time, so we're like, okay, well, we'll just keep them together for now. Luna ended up getting adopted by our friend's friend, right? Yeah, our friend Kim, her friend, had nieces and nephews, and they wanted a puppy. Well, he wanted the puppy, and then he ended up giving it to his niece and nephew, and they're doing very well in Virginia right now. And they love her very much, and she lives a great life, which is awesome. Yes, we're talking about you and your siblings. And Sol ended up going to my aunt in Maryland, which originally she wanted Luna, but Dion decided to have Luna go to somebody else. I'm like, no, that's supposed to go to...
Well, someone called dibs before.
No, because Kim wanted to foster one of them, remember? Kim wanted to foster, and I said, okay, well, why doesn't she take Sol? And he said, no, she should take Luna. And then that's when she met Q, or whomever. And they fell in love. And Sol ended up going to my aunt in Maryland, and he did super well with them. And she's like, you know what? I can do this. I can do another puppy, because she already has Nube, and Nube means cloud in Spanish. And she's very energetic and just off the wall, crazy. And she just needed a buddy. So we brought Sol over. They got along very well, and now they have Sol and Nube, which is awesome. And that just left us with Canela. And we're like, okay, so what are we gonna do with this one? And we're putting it on Facebook and Instagram, like, hey, we have one more puppy left. Is anybody interested? And like, nobody was interested. And I was like, what are we gonna do? Like, we can't just drop her off at a humane society or anything like that. Like, I can't do that. And then a few weeks go by, and I'm like, you know what, babe? Why don't we keep her? And he's like,
You didn't say that.
what did I say? What did I say?
You didn't say that.
What did I say?
You made a post on Instagram saying you said we're adopting Canela. I was never asked. You spoke for my behalf.
Oh, go ahead. Say more.
That's all. And then we ended up with Canela.
Yes, but here's my reason why. In that time where we had the three, Canela, Luna, and Sol, I visited my parents in Virginia. And whenever I left the room, Canela would go berserk, okay? Like, she would jump over the gate to be with me if I wasn't in the living room with her. Yeah, she still does that. Like, attached to my hip, I am her person. It's very, like, oh my goodness, she loves me so much. I mean, all my dogs love me, but this is, like, a special kind of love. I don't know. And the way that she would look at me, it's like, wow, thank you for saving my life, you know? Right, baby? Yes, Mama, I love you. Thank you for saving me. So that is how we ended up with Canela. She picked me. I did not choose to have 4 dogs. It was just written in the books, okay? It was meant to happen. And Dion didn't oppose. So. But originally he did want to keep Sol. Yes, he wanted to keep Sol. And don't even deny it, because he did. But why did you want to keep Sol?
He was handsome. That's all. He looked like a mini golden retriever.
Yeah, he did. He's very cute. Very, very cute. But yes, so now we have Canela Minis, and she's the best little rescue doggy you could ever have. Every time we take her to the vet or she goes anywhere, everyone's like, wow, she's so sweet, like, she's so good. How, like, what kind of dog is she? Where did you get her from? I was like, I rescued her myself. Right? Oh, thank you for the kisses.
Oh, you forgot to mention how...
Oh! Oh!
So what you forgot to say was the dogs really cut into our honeymoon. We had a penthouse.
A penthouse.
We had a penthouse reserved the last 3 days of our trip.
Yeah.
But
we got it for really cheap on Airbnb. We got really lucky with it.
It was cheaper compared to the 5-star hotels.
Okay, yeah. Anyway, so the way that we like to do our vacations is we make it as inexpensive as possible. So we like to do Airbnbs, and at the very end, make it like a luxury experience for us. So go to like a 4 or 5 star hotel and have like a spa day or something like that for the last 2 days of the trip. But in Puerto Rico, it was like disgustingly expensive at the time.
And you have to pay for parking.
Yeah, and you have to pay for parking, and we
Daily.
were just like, we can't, like, that's not in our budget. So,
Well, you didn't know anything about it because I was trying to make it as
Right.
a wedding gift. That was the wedding gift.
Oh, that was
to
my
you.
wedding gift. Okay, so I didn't know anything about it, but I told him, like, do not, like, you can't go over a certain dollar. So he ended up booking a penthouse in San Juan, which was really nice and was in our budget.
It was 3 times the size of the hotel room.
Yeah, and it had a kitchen, it had a washer and dryer, it had freaking everything. It had like 3 showers.
I think we have the clip too.
Yeah. I can go ahead and insert them in here. But, go ahead.
So, we were supposed to have that for 3 or 4 days, I think. But after our second day, you wanted us to go back to the mountains and rescue the dogs. But the problem was, there were no pets allowed in the penthouse.
Yeah, and they would know if we brought back puppies, because, like, they're puppies, you know, they're gonna pee-pee everywhere, and also there was, like, concierge in the front. So,
I mean, dogs are allowed in the building,
yeah.
but just in that,
Like
just
the
not
owner
in that room.
of that
Yeah.
penthouse, they don't want them.
I had to message to the Airbnb host, and I was like, "Oh, something came up. Like, we want to rescue these puppies, and I know that your listing says we can't have any dogs in there. So I was wondering if you can reimburse for the remaining days, and we'll just go, find a house somewhere else to sleep in." And the message I got was, it was positive. So the man was like, oh, I'm so happy that you guys are doing that. I'll be more than happy to
reimburse.
give you guys the money for the remaining days.
Yeah.
And he was just very thankful. And we ended up finding
We got really lucky.
a listing
Like, really lucky. Like, this
with
place.
the first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, the first place that we booked for Airbnb, we stayed there for, 2 days? Or maybe it was just 1 day, but it was beautiful. Like, absolutely beautiful, and it was super cozy, and they made us breakfast. Like, it came with breakfast and mango smoothies every day. Okay? Like,
The host was a chef.
yeah, they amazing. If I can find the listing, I'll, put it in here somewhere. But they're forever booked. Like, we got really lucky with our first listing, or with our first booking of that place. And then, magically, it became available on the days that we needed it to be available, which was, again, really lucky. Like,
And pets were
and
allowed.
they allowed pets. Oh my goodness. It was like,
But
we got so lucky.
I
so
think it says
lucky.
pets allowed, but I think the limit would have been 2.
I think it was just 2.
But-
But I was like, they're like itty bitty, so we're just gonna sneak them in and out. We had them in 2 carriers, so they didn't know, right? It's fine. Yeah. So that's where they stayed. We kept them in the closet for
Not closet. It was an open bathroom.
No, it was a closet. That's where they
Was it a
slept.
closet?
Yeah, except it wasn't it was an open closet.
Yeah.
So that's where they slept. Because the floors in Puerto Rico, they don't have carpet or anything there. It's all tile. So if they pee-peed on the floor, it didn't really matter.
It didn't work putting them in the.
No, it
Closet.
didn't work. We tried barricading them,
They jumped over.
and they just jumped over. Little savages. But they all have homes now, except for 2. I mean, they're with my grandmother, but we still want to go back for them and get them adopted. But that is how we ended up with our Canela belly. Because she's stuck to my hip. Forever attached to me. If I go anywhere, up the stairs, she's there. If I go to the bathroom, she's there. If I want to go, I don't know,
No, it reminds me of the.
2 feet away,
the
she's
Bible
there.
verse.
Yeah.
If I go to the highest.
Alright guys, that is it for today's video. I hope you liked it. If you have any questions, comments, concerns about the puppies, like where they are now, what's going on with Canela, how like exactly we got them all here, let me know down below.
And if you're interested in seeing more videos of our dogs, their daily lives, what we do with them, how we play with them, how we dress them up,
leave us a comment down below,
let
but
us know.
also follow us on our social media because we're like always posting about them. Well, at least I am. I also have a TikTok. A lot of my TikToks are of my dogs, so check me out there. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good day. Please subscribe if you're feeling my vibe. Give this video a big thumbs up or a thumbs down, whatever. Bye guys.